Iron Maiden has finally announced their 2026 tour. Well, at least a part of it. Nonetheless, we have a lot to talk about. So no dawdling, let's get right into it. So at the time of recording this, just yesterday, Iron Maiden released the first chunk of their 2026 tour dates, along with some plans for this tour and, well, future plans. At the moment, the tour is starting in Athens, which they haven't played Athens since 2022, so it's going to be cool to see them get back there. In addition to that, they'll be returning to Paris to actually film a show for the Run for Your Lives tour. And as we can see, the weirdest date posted yet is the headlining UK date. Of everything they had to say, this is probably the weirdest one yet, is either they don't actually have a venue for this and posting it just feels weird, or this can be so much bigger than just a show and there's so many moving parts to this that it's too early to really talk about it yet. Which brings up the question of why they announced it in the first place. I think this is going to be a very big show in a very special location and there's just things they need to figure out first. Or it'll be a festival. A Maiden Fest, if you may. This idea has been poked at multiple times. I think it'd be really cool to do this, bringing on some of Iron Maiden's favorite bands, Steve Harris's favorite bands they just like touring with, which is kind of the same thing, and some of the older members' bands like Blaze Bayley. Back to the Paris show. So once again, for this show and this tour, Maiden's asking people not to film, specifically at this show though. For this one show, they're actually going to have people put their phones in sealed bags so they can't actually use them during the show to further prevent people from actually filming, which I get it. You don't want to see a sea of phones, but also some of us will work on our phones, so it makes it a little bit difficult for a lot of people. I'm not saying all these people work whilst the show is going on, but sometimes you need to access your phone. It is what it is. So I get it, but to be completely honest, I'm not super for it. Not my show though. But also we only have like 10 dates so far. Wherever you live, they're likely coming to you. Australia's been talked about, Japan's been talked about, 50-50 on Africa happening. They haven't been there since the Book of Souls tour, I believe. And we know we are going to be getting North and South America. There's a lot of rumors towards how big the American tour would be, just due to apparently it's more expensive to tour there right now. So either it's going to be a full-blown American tour and tickets will be more expensive, or few shows and it's a lower cost for the tour. But that could also result in more Canadian shows or more shows in Mexico, so we'll see. They're also putting a big focus on festivals and festivals that Maiden played back in the day that really got them going. So one festival I absolutely see happening for 2026 is Rock in Rio. This will be Iron Maiden's 6th time at Rock in Rio, 5th time headlining, because the first time we were actually opening for Queen back in 1985. So it'd be really special for them. But also, kind of the biggest news of this whole thing was Iron Maiden saying they won't be touring in 2027, which makes older videos I did not that long ago completely irrelevant, and everything I said in those videos is wrong. So, 2027, what do we think is going to happen? There's a lot of people immediately resorting to the notion of them retiring or certain band members dropping off, but here's the reality. It's not like Iron Maiden has indeed toured every single year since 1976. There's no shows in 1989. I don't think they played any shows in 1994. They didn't play any shows in 1997. They didn't really tour in 2002, but they did play 4 charity shows in 2002. And everything after that was either delayed by Bruce's cancer or COVID-19. So the reality, the last time they didn't tour based on the fact that they just wanted the break or wanted time to make a new album was 1997. It will be 30 years since their last planned break from touring. So I'm not too concerned about that one, to be completely honest with you. You know what? Yeah. Iron Maiden's getting older, they might start slowing down. I get it. And if they want a year off, it's well earned at this point. But frankly, 2027, Bruce isn't taking a year off. He said he's going to be touring everywhere on a solo project in 2027. And I've heard a lot of mixed opinions about Iron Maiden making a new album, and here's kind of my thoughts on that. A year or two ago, Steve was asked about it and what his thoughts are on making a new Iron Maiden album, and he said he was for making new music. In a recent interview Steve Harris had with Metal Hammer, he said that making an Iron Maiden album really weighs on him, and it's a lot of work, and he just has this dark cloud over him for a few weeks making this album while he just locks himself away writing. Some people took that as him saying he doesn't want to do it because it's too much work, but the reality is he's been saying that for decades. Like, I think the first time I heard him say that was for the Final Frontier album. I think he may have also said that for the Matter of Life and Death album. So I don't take that as a super negative thing in regards to whether we're going to get a new album or not. It's how Steve works. It's how he's always worked. I wouldn't be too concerned by it. So my prediction, because speculating has always went so well for me. So my prediction, 2027, Iron Maiden indeed takes a year off. They will not be playing any shows within the year of 2027. We're going to see Bruce on the road very heavily through the year of 2027. He's already talked about playing South America. More than likely, he's going to come back to North America. Frankly, I actually just saw Bruce Dickinson in Montreal last night, and it was a fantastic show. Seeing Flash the Blade live was dope. But Bruce plays everywhere in 2027 on his brand new album. When that tour cycle's done, I bet you Iron Maiden's going to announce the brand new 18th studio album. Who's going to be on drums? No idea. Frankly, I think it'd be kind of cool to have a mix of both Simon and Nico on it, and just kind of see what both of them have to bring to the table of Iron Maiden. In 2027, we're probably going to see more of Adrian hitting the road, along with Steve Harris in the road for British Lion. But I do think the writing process for a new album is going to start probably the end of 2026, going to early 2027. Spend all of 2027 just working the album out, and once Bruce has done his tour, they release it, and likely dates for a 2028 tour. And yes, that is years down the road, and they're all in their late 60s, early 70s at this point. I get it. But in regards to touring, look at what Judas Priest's doing. They don't stop touring right now. And even Rob Halford, who I'm pretty sure is older than all the guys in Maiden, has said he's totally willing to go for another 10 years of touring. Metallica slowed down, but Metallica has said they're going to put themselves in the best shape possible to make sure they can do this for another 20 years. Then you have bands like AC/DC or the Rolling Stones, who tour less, 100%, but still tour at their age. As I've always said, as long as Maiden's having fun on stage and people are still coming out to the shows, they're going to keep touring. So for the future, personally, I'm not worried. It's going to end at some point. We've been saying that since the beginning of this channel. It's going to end at some point, but I don't think we're there yet. Next thing I want to look at is the set list. Now, Rod Smallwood has said this is the perfect set list for the 50th anniversary of Iron Maiden, which means it's not changing. If you love the set list, awesome. If you hate it, sorry. Personally, I don't hate the set list, but I would make small changes. And since they're going to be doing Europe again, repeating a market they just played, I figured they're probably going to make small changes, 2 or 3 songs at most. But it sounded like that's not going to happen. And again, if you love it, that's great. If you don't, at least we get Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. And I just want to say, if you're from Greece and you're hoping to hear Alexander the Great, I'm sorry, it's not happening. And the last thing I want to touch on is going back to the Paris show and the filming. I'm kind of surprised they are filming it, because Maiden has went out and said that this is the best production they've ever made, which frankly I disagree with. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing the show next year when it comes to Canada, but I do disagree that this is the best show they've ever done. I do firmly believe that the Future Past Tour and the Legacy of the Beast were generally better shows. Way more effort put into the production of those shows than this one. But what hit me is the fact that they're so willing to film this one, but with those shows, which the production was, again, fantastic, they did not get filmed. And yes, they did release a live version of Stranger in Strangeland from Bakken, along with Run to the Hills and Flight of Icarus from the Legacy of the Beast tour, along with Stratego in 2022. I know we got the Knights of the Living Dead album. I do like the album. I go back to it a fair bit. But the issue with that album is, I've said in the past, I don't believe that was ever supposed to exist. I think they were supposed to release a Jetsu then, but COVID got in the way, delayed the tour, they had to release something, and they released that instead. That's been my theory. Anyway, my closing thoughts to this, I am looking forward to the tour. I have wanted to see it, despite any negative thing I have said about it. I am looking forward to seeing this. Am I worried for what comes after 2027? No, not at all. I think they're going to take a break. Frankly, I'm surprised it's taken them this long to take a break, but I'm not worried about what comes after that. And as always, I want to know, what do you think? For this video, we'll allow people to use the word retirement, but what do you think is going to happen post-2027? Do you think we're getting a new album? Do you think they are going to indeed retire? Or do you think they're just going to slow down and kind of take the AC/DC, Rolling Stones, Slayer approach of shows? And I want to know, where do you want to see Maiden tour next year? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, join if you've seen. I tend to post a couple times a week, and I'll see you later.